Today we will install zNcrypt 2.3.0 on Ubuntu Linux. The following process will work on most Debian-based distributions. zNcrypt is a transparent data encryption solution able to secure any data used by virtually any process or script running on Linux. zNcrypt enables our customers to secure their sensitive data for PCI, medical and patient information, intellectual property, and more. And all this happens without making any changes to those applications or the data. Before we get going, internet access is needed if you want to follow the steps in this video training. Also, if your system is behind a firewall, port 80 must be open during the installation to allow access to the Gazzang repository. If this isn't possible in your environment, refer to the manual installation instructions in the user guide. One more thing, it's a good idea to fully update your system before running any of the installation steps that follow. Alright, let's get started. We can go ahead and update sources.list with the current Gazzang package archive information. The sources.list file is found in the etc apt directory. You will see there are several different options depending on your specific distribution. So check the user guide and make sure you've selected the correct entry for your version of Ubuntu. Save the file when you've finished, and next we'll install the DKMS package and the Linux kernel libraries, which work together to automatically generate the zNcrypt-FS module for your version of the Linux kernel. For those of you who used Gazzang prior to this version, you'll be pleased to see that we are no longer required to manually build kernel modules ahead of time. Also, moving forward, when you upgrade your Linux kernel, this new feature of our product will see the kernel change and automatically create the necessary zNcrypt-FS module on the fly. Next, you will want to download and import a copy of Gazzang's public key. Having this key ensures you're receiving authentic Gazzang packages from our repository prior to installing our software. Once you have obtained the public key, go ahead and run sudo apt-get update, which will download the latest version of the Gazzang zNcrypt software. Now that this is done, install it using sudo apt-get install zNcrypt and zNcrypt-FS. When the install is complete, it's time to configure the directories where encrypted files will be stored and managed by zNcrypt. Run sudo zncrypt-configure-directories to start the configuration process. You will configure two folders. One is zEncrypted, a virtual directory that zNcrypt uses to provide the transparent or unencrypted view into the encrypted files. This view is only available to the authorized processes, scripts, or executables that you configure and allow. The other folder is storage. This is the actual location of the encrypted files that zNcrypt manages and protects on your system. Now it's time to finish a few final configuration steps and to activate the zNcrypt software. Run sudo zncrypt-activate. The first question is asking if you're using Gazzang's hosted KSS server. For more than 75% of you, the answer will be yes. If, however, you paid for and have installed your own KSS, answering no will bring up additional configuration questions that point the zNcrypt client to your enterprise KSS. The next question is asking if you use a proxy server. If your system has to go through a proxy to get out to the internet, answer yes and provide the name and login credentials of your proxy server. Next, enter the product key and activation code provided by your Gazzang representative. You should note that as part of zNcrypt security, once activated, these codes are linked to this specific server and cannot be used on any other system. Finally, Gazzang zNcrypt lets you choose between two different key types for your master encryption key, either a user-defined passphrase or a pre-generated RSA key file. The passphrase option is a secret string of characters that is used to encrypt and decrypt your data. This is a very common method used by zNcrypt users and permits an optional scenario where there can be a split knowledge of the master key. This split knowledge is achieved by adding a second passphrase known only to another person. As an alternative, an RSA key file can be used as the master encryption key. This is more common in environments with third-party HSMs or with users who prefer using a key in a physical file format that can be kept on a secure USB stick. After setting your master encryption key, you've completed the installation, configuration, and activation of Gazzang zNcrypt 2.3.0. Go ahead and start the service and refer to the user guide and quick reference guide for steps on how to encrypt your sensitive data and how to create the ACL rules that define the trusted process, script, or executable that should have access to the encrypted files. If you would like more information, please contact Gazzang.